Well, we know that Bowie reads a lot. He used to travel on tour with trunks of books, and in fact he once described himself as a librarian with a sex drive. And it's perhaps no surprise that one of the books to really strike a chord with Bowie was George Orwell's 1984. And in fact, he wanted to make a musical based on the book in the early 70s. And he was already deep into it when he discovered that George Orwell's widow wouldn't let him have the rights to go ahead. So he went away and made his own narrative of a dark and decaying future city called Hunger City, which became the basis of the Diamond Dogs tour. This is Hunger City, with Halloween Jack in the middle, the leader of the pack, a real cool cat, as the song says. And when we were researching the story in the Bowie archive, we discovered that this tour set was first imagined, in fact, as a film set, and that Bowie had made very extensive notes and sketches for a film based on the Diamond Dogs story. So this is Hunger City again here, and it gives you a really vivid sense of the atmosphere that Bowie was after. So it says Hunger City, the future, barren skyscrapers centre around the World Assembly building. And you can see here the Diamond Dogs street gangs starting a riot, it says. And this is Halloween Jack again here on roller skates. Bowie had also made very detailed storyboards, which really show the scale of his vision. And we really wanted to bring this project to life because even though the film was never made, it tells you such a lot about the vision behind the Diamond Dogs tour and what a creative powerhouse Bowie is. So our designers animated the storyboards following Bowie's original instructions and combined it with the never-before-seen bit of footage of Bowie making a demo of the film in the Pierre Hotel in New York.
And in the death, as the last few corpses lay rotting on the slimy thoroughfare, the shutters lifted an inch in Temperance Building high on Poacher's Hill, and red, mutant eyes gazed down on Hunger City. No more big wheels. Fleas the size of rats sucked on rats the size of cats, and 10,000 peopleoids split into small tribes, coveting the highest of the sterile skyscrapers like packs of dogs assaulting the glass fronts of Lovney Avenue, ripping and re-wrapping mink and shiny silver frocks, now leghorns, family badge of sapphire and cracked emerald. In the day now, the gear of the Diamond Dogs.
This ain't nothing, no! This is genocide! As they pulled you out of the oxygen tent, you asked for the latest party.
The storyboards gives you an insight into, how creative and hands-on he was. He was a complete workaholic. He was non-stop.
All the sketches and notes where he had a complete vision for Diamond Dogs and the Hunger City movie.
Being able to see the storyboards shows a very obsessive need by David Bowie to control every single aspect of that staging.
The Diamond Dog imagery is really astounding because it sort of takes that step of transformation of Bowie's persona one step further.
Procession assembled here, and Mr. Charge is up there. Badass is over there, Halloween Jack is over there. They're still engrossed in the procession and all the things that have to do with that clever music. So Mr. Charge has to do it all himself, and he makes the decisions. Badass is to be released, and Jack to go to the sewers. Young girl, they call them the Diamond Dogs. Call them the Diamond Dogs. Call them the Diamond Dogs.
By the time Diamond Dogs came about, the manager rang me and said, look, I need some pictures for the cover of the album. So they arrive at the studio, the dog, David and all that. So I photographed the dogs, in all the positions, and then David copied the Polaroids of the dog. I mean, it did work out as a great album cover, there's no doubt about it.
Rebel, rebel,
And when we finished it all, I thought, well, I better take some shots of him and the dog. As soon as I take one picture, the dog jumps up.
I love you so.
And everyone reared back, ran off, except for David, who didn't turn a hair. He's very laid-back type of cat. Well, I remember when I saw the contacts for the first time, and I couldn't believe it, because I was frightened the dog had jumped out the frame. But when I saw the shot, I knew I was in business. That got named the second most famous rock and roll picture ever. I forget what the first one was, but that was number 2, and that's good enough for me. He always did something that made a picture. He was a star from the very first time I met him, and he's still a star today.